Hi, Paul Howe, CSAT Way. We're going to talk about the DOJ Uvalde report. We're going to do this in three sections. We're going to do it here just shortly, go to the range, flat range, and go to the shoot house. Long story short, all it did was say, this is what happened. The problem is we didn't fix it. There's probably 5, 6 main points, coil splash them up, that need to be fixed and addressed. The state has not done it. And so you have options. If the SRO, school resource officers, are not going to do their job, then you need to start guardian programs. And guardian programs will ensure the security of the teachers and kids and the learning environment. I will see you guys at the range. Paul Howe, CSAT Way. Coy wanted me to talk about guardians and how to select guardians. And that's why I'm here at the range. It's like 35 degrees here in Texas, Arctic conditions. You know, we're just got over a storm, snow, everything stopped. But the other thing that just happened is the DOJ report on Uvalde came out. And so a lot of issues. It's a mess. And I will, hate to talk about Texas. It's a mess. It's an inbred system right now where Ellie has run the septic lines into the kitchen. And we'll talk about that. And it's law enforcement not purging their own or having higher standards. What you have is T-Coal, and you've got Alert out there. They're meshing, and they're starting to try to develop standards, but there are no standards. And so we have guardian programs that need to be established. And why? Well, Coyle splashed up some pictures of Uvalde, and these folks are not trained. Some of these folks are overweight, and you need folks. We'll talk about the bandwidth you need, folks, for guardians. If you look at these people and they're not ready to protect you, then you have to protect yourselves. We've seen it overseas where the government hired contractors to get certain missions done and jobs done. Well, you can do the same thing with teacher guardians. When I look at teacher guardians, what I want is somebody that has initiative. Initiative-based person, need to be a superior teacher, and then they have to have a belief in the cause to go forward, push the fight. Do they have to have combat mindset right off the bat? No. What they need is proper training, and we'll talk about that. So if you're a superintendent or you've been tasked to start a guardian program, first evaluate your SROs. And when I say evaluate them, go to the range and watch them shoot. So CSAT target here. This is a state target right here. If you look at all the excess paper and the dimensions, ours is either you hit it in the center or you miss it. That's it. Here you're going to get different points for shooting, and it's huge. So your first evaluation should be watching them shoot and going, they're either there or they're not. The other thing is watch how many times a gun is pointed at you on the range and their weapon handling. That's huge. So what's happened is law enforcement, we talked about the septic lines in the kitchen. There are some superior SROs out there, but there's a lot that the agencies take and they push into jobs like school resource officers, and they're really not there to help you out. They're there to collect a paycheck and get a good retirement. So you've got to look at that as an individual school. Your ISDs, you've got to evaluate them. You've got to get out there and see how much they train, pull their training records. Now, what happens is in a state, T-Coal does not want to have any kind of physical standards or mental standards for police officers. Why? Well, we'll lose too many people. Well, what happens when an officer gets hurt in line of duty, comes back to duty? How do they evaluate him whether he's fit for duty if they don't have any kind of physical standard? So that's huge. And that is the problem with the state. They're hiring these bureaucrats that want, well, we're going to take everybody. Well, the problem with everybody is read that 600-page Uvalde report. DOJ had to come into Texas. That's embarrassing enough. And analyze this, bunch of PhDs, this and that. I wrote a simple, about 5 or 6 points that I sent to my instructors. Coyle splashed that up. And what it is pretty simple. They didn't push the fight. They didn't stay in the fight. They didn't bring breaching tools. We're seeing this over and over. Columbine, 1999. That's how long we should be prepping for this. But law enforcement builds empires in the state, and we need to break down those empires and have higher standards, simple as it is. Kids are important, teachers are important. They need to be able to teach and grow and be mentored without fear of their lives being lost. So, targets, go to the range. The state is going to have some lax standards, and it's okay, just understand that. The state is going to mandate for Guardian programs a ticket punch program that you go through. But what you need to do once you do the state minimal standards, the lax standards, is go seek additional training. And what you need to do is firearm training, and then also your CQB training, your building training, your outside contact, inside contact, open door, closed doors. All your guardians and your teachers need to have key cards, master key cards, to get in any door. The police are going to come. The more people that have key cards can get them in faster. But really, a guardian program will solve the problem before the police get there. Then you can carry them to the crisis point, and generally the body, because you've already solved the problem. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a break from this flat range. We're going to move to the shoot house and talk about some other issues. All right, we're in the old shoot house now. Hit a few more points. Teachers, they go from flat range to shoot houses, live fire shoot houses, not simunitions. The state wants you to do this paint simunition. That's an advanced level training once you have your basic tactics down. So basic firearms, basic tactics. So what happens is I watched this whole scenario unfold when it happened and had the answers to the tests within usually 24, 36 hours. Here's what you need to do. The problem is they're going to these inbred LEO experts that are not experts. They want to build empires and jockey for position, and we haven't even started the fixes per se. Civilians have started more fixes than law enforcement. So trainers, don't care what venue. This is not to sell training. This is a seek training, quality training. Vet the people. So your firearms training, and then your shoot house training. What you need to do in a shoot house is really pretty simple. Open door, closed door, inward, outward opening, T intersections, do an outside contact. And those scenarios will handle most of what you're going to run into. Add in the medical. Medical's huge. What happens is good Guardian programs have medical that you don't put teachers out, leave them alone, and let them die on a sidewalk. That's unacceptable. So it was a clown show, and we haven't fixed it. Our state has not fixed it. It's a national embarrassment right now. So schools, teachers, ISD, superintendents, you're on your own right now. You have to go out there and look at the programs and the people you have. And if you don't have a program, establish one, because then you know who will push forward. We have schools here, 10, 12 guardians. If 5 of them push forward, they will solve the problem. And then you've got 5 in reserve for medical. A lot of things can happen. As you push and take ground, you need to start treating people when you can. The first rule is to put out the fire, which means get rid of the bad person, put them down. And then you can start doing. But there's nothing saying you can't take ground and start evacing people. You have a lot of options out there. When you look at the timelines, this was a Columbine 2. Is what it was. It's unacceptable for where we're at and where we should be. For all the money and resources we've thrown at it for years, it's unacceptable. And so you need to get out there and make your voice heard. But the biggest thing is shoot us questions. COI has run and set up Guardian programs here at CSAT. We have trained probably 12 to 13 ISDs, and there's a lot of other good schools out there training. But they're not going to come to you. The state's going to mandate low sub standards. That's what the state does, because you have a state full of empire building LEOs and administrators that want to pad their career and not really protect the students and the teachers out there. So I hope this helps you. You take care. The report is about 600 pages. It could be condensed into about 5 bullet points. So you take care, be safe. Hopefully you'll establish a Guardian program that'll better protect your kids, because right now the standards that we have are not doing that. Take care, be safe. Hi, Paul Howe, CSAT Way. I want to thank you folks for watching all our channels. So we have the YouTube, we have free content on the CSAT Way Facebook. If you want precision shooting techniques, go to the Patreon, CSAT Patreon site. For training, we have dedicated, we have private training, we have regularly scheduled classes. So you just let us know what you're interested in and we can help you out. We look forward to seeing you folks on the range. You take care, be safe.